Hey everybody, Craig Cottle from Nature Reliance School, guest instructor with dansdepot.com, coming at you today. What we're going to work on is the art of making the perfect Tinder bundle. So hang with us. Glad you're out here with us on this beautiful day. So we're going to make these Tinder bundles today out of natural material, and we're going to classify the material we're going to use in 3 different categories. So the first being grass-like material, the second being tree bark, and another category that I like to call other. So glad you're with us. So when you're working with Tinder bundle material, you want to make sure that you have 2 things. You want to make sure that the material is flammable, and obviously you want to make sure that it's dry. So one of the best options is to find something off the ground. I never pick up fire making materials on the ground itself because it always holds moisture. So a grass that's standing like this and that you can feel and make sure it's dry is a good choice. I like this particular stuff because it's quite abundant right here, and we can utilize that for our bundle. Another way we can make sure that it's dry is I like to put it against my nose, and you can feel some moisture. It'll feel kind of cold when you put it against your nose. So basically what I want to do is I'm going to start gathering material such as this grass and start forming into what looks like to most people a bird's nest. And you don't really have to work this up real small yet, but what you do want to make sure is that you don't have material that is so tightly packed that you can't get air into it. Oxygen is an important aspect of making fire, so we want to make sure that you can get plenty of air. The more compact and tight this is, the less air is going to get to it, and you need that air to get to it. Now that we got our basic bird's nest structure made, what we're going to do is get again another small piece of very dry material, and we're going to work this up into a golf ball sized very fine broken up material. So I'll lay this down to make sure that it stays dry, and in this piece I'm going to break this stuff incredibly well so that there's lots of edges. The more edges there are to catch with the flame, whether that's with a bow drill coal that you make, or a lighter, or a ferro rod, or whatever it is that you do this, you want to make sure that there's plenty of edges so the sparks or the flame or the heat or whatever is there catches. Alright, so if you want to work something up like tree bark, this particular stuff is some cedar bark that I found off a tree nearby. Basically you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to have some large material and some fine material. Obviously the more finer the material is, the more edges that are going to be there to catch. But again, to have a solid structure, I like to make a pretty good nest out of the bigger material. So there's my basic nesting structure. And then again, I'm going to take the other same material and I'm going to put it in the middle, but this material needs to be really broken up and have a lot of edges exposed. Again, so that when we apply flame from a lighter, I always recommend taking a lighter with you, it's too easy, or if you're doing a bow drill fire, or if you're doing a ferro rod. So make sure all this material is very well broken up. That's going to go into the center of our structure, and then again, like with the grass, a golf ball sized, very fine, very broken up center of our nest structure. Now, once I have all this fine material, I'm going to place this in the direct center of my tinder bundle so that when I start to blow this in the flame, the very center has got everything in it so that it can catch very easily, and I'll blow this into flame. Again, making sure that when you do this, heat rises and the flame's going to rise. So you don't want to hold your tinder bundle like this. You want to hold your tinder bundle like this. This is why it needs to be held together so that when you turn it upside down it doesn't fall apart. So now we take that golf ball size, very fine material, place it into the center of our tinder bundle, and then whatever ignition source we're going to use, we're going to light that very portion of the tinder bundle. It's very fine. It's going to have a lot of edges to catch. Again, whether that's a lighter or coal or whatever it is, ferro rod that you use to get this started, and then we're going to blow this into flame. So we've got us a real good tinder bundle made out of grass. We got us a real good tinder bundle made out of cedar bark. The reason I'm showing you these two is because they're one of the easiest things to find, tree bark. It's not just any tree bark. What you want is you want to get tree bark that when you try to break it apart, it's hard, because that's a lot of fibrous material that sticks together. That's a good ignition source. Bark that just breaks apart, it's going to be hard. It's going to have a lot of big edges. You want a lot of rough, fine edges, fibrous material. So this cedar bark is a good choice. Poplar is a good choice. Any number of barks that you can find that'll have a lot of fibrous material and break and stick together when they break. It's hard to break. Alright, so this last category that I call other after grass and tree bark is whatever you can find. Okay, so one of the best ways for you to get out and get good at these type of skills is to go out and find material. Make sure you've got a safe, cleared area for you to practice your fire building. We recommend that you have a 10-foot circle that is cleared of all forest debris before you start building a fire. Make sure that you get any material that you can find that is dry, and then try it. I mean, some of the best stuff that I found is stuff that I just happened across and tried. So I recommend you do this in a safe manner, in a safe place, but find as many materials, check them out. If they go, then that's your other. For me, one of the things that I found was bull thistle, you know, by accident. I mean, I guess I'd read that somewhere, but at one point in time I took some bull thistle and hit it with a ferro rod and it just blew up on me. So that's a real good choice, and I found that by accident. That's what I want you to do. You'll get good at your skills if you're out practicing them, if you're out discovering things on your own, and get real good. Keep checking back with us and we'll help you, but I want you to learn these things so you get strong in the woods. Until next time, we hope to see you on or off the trail.